If you blinked, you might have missed it. Ronda Rousey once again just dominating an opponent in a matter of seconds. This time it was Bethe Correia in 34 seconds. Just another athlete known for her speed, Lolo Jones, weighed in on Rousey's quick finish, tweeting, "How much are these chicks paid to get knocked out in seconds? I can't fight, but I'll prolong it and run circles for at least a minute." Stephen A., are Rousey's quick finishes good for the sport?
I don't think it is, but let me be very clear. I'm an incredible fan of hers. She's ferocious, she's vicious, she's clearly the elite. She's the elite in terms of women's fighting in the UFC. You know, she's very beautiful as well. I had the pleasure of talking to her, meeting her. She came on First Take. She came on the radio show. Here's my only thing, and I asked her this question when I met her as well, because if you're paying money for pay-per-view, I don't care how great you are. You don't want to see a fight end in 14 seconds like her previous fight ended, and then this past Saturday night where she won in 34 seconds. I mean, her last two fights have been a combined 48 seconds. You don't want to see that, because at the end of the day, you want to see a fight. That's not a fight. I mean, if you sat up there and you literally turned your head and turned back around, the fight's over. I don't care who it is. I don't care how much you look forward to seeing them. You want to see more than that. You know, granted, when you saw Mike Tyson, you saw an event, because it was an event to watch him walk in the ring. It was an event to watch him scowl and pace back and forth while he was waiting for the bell to ring. And clearly you knew that at least early on in his career, most of the fights were going to end inside of 3 minutes. All of that is true. But at some point, people crave for him to be in a fight. And a lot of times, Mike Tyson, you know, he knocked out, Trevor Berbick in 2 rounds to become the youngest heavyweight champion. Knocked out Larry Holmes in the 4th round. Okay, knocked out, Frank Bruno in the 5th round, and stuff like that. But at least it was a few rounds. With this girl, it's seconds. And so for me, if it's free TV, that's one thing. But on pay-per-view, I don't know how long that success is going to last with it being so quick. But that ain't Ronda Rousey's fault. I mean, she's just on another level. And these girls that talk smack to her, it don't work for them. Because she's going to beat you down. She comes right out, comes right after you, and she's looking to take you out. And she does not hesitate, nor does she apologize for it. I can't blame her for a thing. I just wish the competition was stiffer.
Yeah, I'm with you, Stephen A. And I want to disqualify myself. I do not follow this sport, any UFC action, male or female, the way you do, and the way especially that Molly has in her career. So I defer to both of you on this. But I must admit, I strongly considered paying for this fight and staying up into the wee hours of Saturday night, Sunday morning for this fight. I heard some of our experts make a case this one was going to last a while. And I thought to myself, nah, I don't think it's going to last for a while. And I was right, and I didn't stay up, and I'm glad I didn't. I've now seen the fight because it's easy to see because it didn't last very long. And yet, her astonishing dominance is going to sell for only so long. Molly, to Molly's case here, just to get her up to speed on the show, we have had Ronda on a couple of times on the show. She did admit she's a close friend of Manny Pacquiao, so she picked Pacquiao to beat Mayweather. But the irony there is she needs a Pacquiao. She needs a worthy rival to finally bring home her credibility to some people like me who are sitting on the fringes waiting to say, well, you need to show me. I need conclusive proof of how great you are. I don't want to see her fight Miesha Tate for a 3rd time. She beat her twice. Miesha had to submit to her twice in 4 minutes and 27 seconds, which was seemingly record length, then in 58 seconds, and she got her arm broken. So do I want to see that 3rd fight? And then there's Cyborg that we hear a lot about. She's 30 years old now. She's getting up there in age. She's probably a little past her prime. She fights at 145. Ronda fights at 135. I'm not sure the twain shall meet. That doesn't seem quite right to me. Obviously, Cyborg got suspended back in, 2011 for using anabolic steroids, so that's going to be an ongoing issue. Maybe that will help hype the potential match a little bit. But in the end, I wish there was a worthy rival out there to drive home just how great Ronda Rousey is, because my instincts are telling me she is all-time great.
Well, she's definitely all-time great. There's no question about it. And I love her attitude. I love her competitive spirit and fervor. I'm a fan of Ronda Rousey. It's no question about it. And I love her bravado as well. You talk smack, she'll come right back at you. She ain't backing down from anybody. But like you said, you've got to have a legitimate contender. And there's nobody that falls along the line of legitimacy. The only thing that sold me on this fight that she just had prior to the fight was the fact that that same girl had beaten up a couple of her friends and was talking smack to her and had called her out. And Ronda Rousey wanted her so badly that she was willing to go to Brazil in her own backyard and beat her up in front of those folks just to send her the message, you don't want to mess with me at all. And she went right out and got her. And I just think that you love that. But at the same time, the fight game is about competition. It's not about one person. It's about that component, that opponent.
You got it. So, Molly, given your background covering this sport, what's your take on what should happen from this point forward?
Guys, I completely agree with you. She's ahead of her time, and I think that's going to be the one knock against her in this era. In 10 to 15 years, we'll see fighters develop. I mean, young girls are starting more so in Brazil, but that'll start to happen here. The Miesha Tate fight is not exciting to me either. It'll be the third time around. Cyborg, more enticing, but she's got to get clean. And again, yes, dropping weight. We don't know if that'll be her at her best, but I think that's the one that I would really like to see moving forward. I know Dana White said in the post-fight show that he wants to make that happen, but that's a matter of Cyborg getting off the juice and dropping weight and being ready to do it.
Gotcha.
All right, moving on though, guys. We go back
Consider myself
to
enlightened.
the NFL. Yes, cover the sport since 2007. A big fan. This time, the NFL comes down very hard, not on a player, but a coach. We'll explain on the other side of the break.
First Take is presented by Chase, so you can easily master the way you bank. And in part by Golden Corral, the best buffet in the USA, now serving breakfast for lunch and dinner. And Volkswagen, isn't it time for German engineering?
Look out, Yankees. With David Price now leading the Blue Jays rotation and making his debut today, Toronto's playoff dreams could finally become a reality. Skip, in case you didn't hear Stephen A. multiple times, the Yanks are in first place. They currently lead the AL East by 6 games over the Orioles and the Blue Jays. Skip, we start with you. What chance do you give the Blue Jays of catching the Yanks?
Stephen A., it's over. The Toronto Blue Jays will catch your Yankees and win the American League East. They added the best bat on the market in Troy Tulowitzki, and the man I think was the best pitcher on the market in David Price of Vanderbilt University. They added a quality leadoff hitter in Den Revere and a quality reliever in Mark Lowe. Your guys are in trouble, and I think they're about to be done 6 games ahead.
Oh, please. 6 games ahead. That's right.
Please.
They ain't catching the Yankees. Listen, Donaldson is no joke. Batista's no joke. Adam Tulowitzki to their lineup is impressive. I get all of that. But Burley and R.A. Dickey, I mean, give me a break. I'm not worried about the Toronto Blue Jays, okay?
You better
Have you see what Joe Girardi's been doing with my New York Yankees? You see Mark Teixeira on this tear right now with 29 homers. Batting average is elevated from the 230s earlier on. He's at 266 now. A-Rod second on the team in home runs, got about 24 bat, 277. You've got this kid, Brett Gardner, who's an all-star, and by the way, he's at 288. He's balling. Ellsbury is back, and by the way, the pitching staff, Sabathia and Warren and Betances and Ivanova and Tanaka and Pineda's coming back. Pineda's will be back in a few days. I'm not worried.
He's not.
I'm not worried.
Pineda's hurt.
Who?
You're in trouble.
Hurt now. I said he'll be back. He'll be back. He ain't out for the year.
He'll be back.
Because he's he's a Yankee, baby. That's why I know. Because he's the New York Yankees. Start spreading the news.
Oh, gosh. Speaking of being back, when are you guys going to be back?
Led by A-Rod.
I want to
I miss
be
you both.